Okay, thank you.
Yes. So we're going to get started. Welcome, everyone. This is CSULA. We are from the EOP Office, Education Opportunity Program. My name, again, is Veronica Carrero. I am an EOP counselor specifically for transfer students. And then we have Mr. Joseph here also. If you want to introduce yourself, Joseph, again,
Yeah.
and then we'll go over the agenda.
Hey everyone, my name is Joseph. I've been working for EOP for about 3 years now. Before I worked in the front desk, which was I helped students, kind of frontline incoming students, get to know more about our resources. But now I work in the back, which is known as the EOP admissions office. So I'm more involved with the admissions process now than in the front desk.
Thank you, Joseph. Okay, so today we have a full agenda. We do have, we're going to go over our EOP mission, the core elements of EOP and what those mean, the resources that we have available here at Cal State LA for you, what Guardian Scholars Program is, because that is a program that we offer through EOP, who may apply for our program, the criteria to apply, specifically income criteria, so that's important, and then how to apply for EOP. Biographical questions, we're going to go over some of those in details. And then, let's see.
Sorry.
We're going to, I know, I was like, it got cut off at the bottom.
The bottom was letters of recommendation. So we're
Letters of recommendation, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be discussing the letters of recommendation, who can give them to you or who can recommend you. And then I'll go from here. Our EOP mission, which is the Educational Opportunity Program, serves as a primary vehicle for the CSU in increasing the access academic excellence and retention of California's historically undeserved students, which is basically low income and first generation students, meaning that both your parents or your parents didn't go to your four-year university, thus working in the spirit and abiding by the legislative intent that urgently established the program in 1969 and maintaining the innovation inherent in the program. Our EOP core elements are: number one, provide access to opportunities for historically undeserved students, low income first generation college students, by making higher education a possibility for prospective students with potential for academic excellence, provide advocacy and education to address the needs of EOP students. We provide transitional experience that will empower students to better manage and navigate the college experience. We also provide support services to facilitate success, and we provide EOP grants to eligible students who should also receive the highest priority for financial aid resources available for institution. Now we're here, I'll talk to you about the resources that are available to campus when you get admitted to the EOP program. Number one would be EOP Counseling, which is your academic counselor. Given that you all are transfer students, you would be, your counselor would probably most likely be Veronica, and she will help guide you through your college experience, kind of give you a smooth sailing to from community college to university college. And then we also provide tutoring, priority tutoring. So if you're ever struggling with math or English, we do offer priority tutoring for those students who are struggling. And then on campus, I believe we also have a writing center, which will help students better their essays or anything they need help with. Like I mentioned in the last slide, we also offer the EOP grant, which is up to $1,000. And I believe financial aid will determine whether the student is eligible for that grant. So not everyone who is admitted to the EOP program is going to get that EOP grant because financial aid will determine that. And then I believe the estimated family income, which is also known as a EFC, it has to be a 0. So if you're a 0, you're most likely going to get that EOP grant. But once again, financial aid will determine whether or not you get that grant. We also offer priority registration for your first year. And we also offer free printing, Scantrons, and Blue Books. I know the bookstore offers Scantrons and Blue Books, but I think it's maybe like 25 cents or 50 cents. Right here, we offer for free, and then we also offer free printing. In the library, I think it's 10 cents per page. And then you can stop by here at our EOP office, and we provide you with 10 free pages. And then we also have a laptop computer loan program, which was if you need a laptop, we can give you a laptop, but we highly recommend students who are in need of laptops or a computer, we highly recommend them to contact the Dean of Students. And that way they'll get the laptop plus a hotspot, because they are also offering hotspots. And that we would recommend the student. We also offer enrichment workshops, time management workshops, financial literacy, email etiquette, and discovering your learning style. So we have all different types of workshops that benefit students in the long run. We have workshops that are led by the counselors. Before, the time management one was held by a counselor named Tanya Maxwell. She held the workshops for that specific topic. And there's all different types of workshops throughout the semester. So excuse me. So in our website, we have a link where I'm sorry, where it shows you all the workshops that are available to students, and it gives you the topics and then who will be facilitating them. And then lastly, we have the learning communities. I think Veronica might go into detail more about the academic and career counseling.
Yes, so thank you, Joseph, for that information. For academic counseling, so because I will be your point of contact here at EOP, typically we would have at least more than one counselor, but I am the lucky one that deals with the EOP students who are transfers, and I'm very happy to do that. So you don't have much of a choice than to meet with me for Cal State EOP students here. So we do offer academic and career counseling. Career counseling, we work closely with the Career Development Center to make sure that all your questions are answered through them. Academic, we do work closely with your academic advisors, with your departments, and we have a really good relationship with them because it's all about making sure that you are following the right track. You're making sure that your academics are all on track. And then tutoring, that is done through the CASCA, is the Center for Academic Success. You do get priority if you are an EOP student. Basically, tutoring does get filled up pretty quickly, but if you mention that you are an EOP student, they will accommodate you with that service there. And the grant, again, it is all based on your financial need. So basically, like Joseph said, it's all done through financial aid. And priority registration for the first year, as we know, Cal State LA, and Luz, I'm sure you're familiar with this, priority registration and picking your courses first are all here like gold around campus. So if you get to choose your courses and able to register before anyone, you're basically, ahead of the game here at Cal State LA, but we try to do our best to make sure that you have all the correct dates, all the dates for you to choose those courses in ahead of time, okay? And the laptop and computer loan program, specifically right now, because we live in a virtual world, is very important that you have access to that. So that is also through the Dean of Students. In our learning communities, those are done mainly in winter and summer, where we've been able to host courses for students where EOP pays the cost for each of those courses, okay? So that may be an opportunity that we may have when students transfer over to Cal State LA.
Thank you, Veronica.
Thank you.
Here's a picture of all 23 campuses or CSUs that provide EOP. However, each CSU has their different deadlines. So if you were to apply to, let's say, Cal Poly Pomona, they would have a different deadline from Cal State LA or anyone else. So I'd recommend, if you do apply to different campuses and you know which one you want to go to, just familiarize yourself with the deadlines that they have. And if they, for whatever reason, don't have it posted on their website, you can always just give them a call and then just ask them when their deadline is, so you won't get it confused with other campuses. So if you are interested in applying to other campuses, just make sure you learn their deadlines. Now I'll talk to you about the Guardian Scholars Program, which is a program that we have on campus. It's committed, it's committed to the holistic success of students who are current or former foster youth, wards of the court, and or were previously under legal guardianship. So I'd like to point out, whenever you're applying to the EUP program, there's probably going to be an example or an option where it says, are you foster youth or ward of the court? I can't remember at the top of my head how it is in the CSU apply, but there should be an option where it's going to ask you that question. And if you are, make sure you click yes, or signifying your autobiography that you are a foster youth, so we can know, and then we can recommend you to this program. And then now I'll talk about the services that they provide, the resources. They also provide financial assistance, textbook and transportation support, access to on-campus housing year-round. They offer priority registration, summer bridge, and transfer bridge, which is, I think Summer Bridge is a 6-week event or intensive not workshop, can't find the word, but it's a 6-week where you're in contact with a counselor or certain math professors. And in that Summer Bridge, you'll get to learn more about the campus, and then learn more about the resources that are available to you, and then kind of get you a little head start for um, college. But Transfer Bridge is the one that is available for you all. I know Veronica did that this summer, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know if Veronica wants to talk about a little more about Transfer Bridge.
Yes, so let me chime in on Transfer Bridge. So this year we had Transfer Bridge during the summer, and it was an 8-week seminar course. So the seminar was run by myself and a manager here, Mr. Stephen Wilson. And what that was, the way it looked is students attended the seminar twice a week for 8 weeks. And then they also had the opportunity to attend an upper division course, which covered their general education requirements for the university. And so they attended CLS 3770, which is a course, Chicano Latino Studies. It covered 3 units of their required courses, and it was free at cost. And so that was in conjunction with the seminar, and then they attended the course also 2 days out of the week. And so it was a pretty busy summer, but it's, something that you're learning life skills, transitional skills with us. And then you're also getting credit for attending the 3-unit course with the professor. And so that was I believe that was a really great outcome, because a lot of students were happy. We had a high turnaround of participation. And so those are some of the perks that we offer here at EOP at Cal State LA.
A little more about the resources that they also offer. They also offer academic advising / educational counseling services, tutorial services, and employment opportunities. So when you get to know more about the people that work on campus, and then people that are in this program, they'll open up more opportunities for you to apply to different jobs, and then they'll connect you with more people. So basically like networking. That's another benefit of the Guardian Scholars Program.
And just chiming in a little bit on the academic advising, it probably may look a little different than community college, because here academic advising is separate, even though we do work closely with the academic advisors. They're considered advisors, we're considered counselors. We still, help students with the advising piece, but the advisors would handle that area if a student is speaking with in terms of information that they want in their major. Students will go to their academic advisor, and we would help them to get there. We will help them to get connected there, and then we will also answer questions to the best of our ability here. So that's a little bit. I know that students have a lot of questions regarding that transition, but it is different here at Cal State LA, and that's just how all the CSUs are laid out here.
Thank you. And then we also have this section kind of telling you who may apply to EOP. First generation college students whose parents have not earned a 4-year college degree. Siblings do not count. EOP applicants that are highly motivated, an applicant that demonstrates the potential to be successful, but may lack the economic and educational resources necessary to attend the university. The EOP applicant who meets the EOP family income guidelines, expected family contribution, EFC, for federal student financial aid, and then historically low income. So what we look for when students apply to the program, they are asked to fill out a biographical question. And then from there, we kind of determine to see if the student is highly motivated and to see whether or not the student actually wants to be a part of the program. And Veronica will talk more about that when the slides come by, but just a little example of how we determine who's highly motivated. On this next slide, it's the example of the income criteria that we had in 2021 from last year. So on the left side, it would be the dependent students, and it will let you know the maximum income. And then on the right side, it's the independent students, and then it'll also let you know on the right side the maximum income and then how much you can make. I know in the CSU apply, it does allow you to self-report. However, once you do that, we are able to see what financial aid says. So we kind of compare it to see if it matches. And then from there, we based our decision. And then I'm gonna pass it to Veronica.
Yes, so then you might be asking your question like, oh, well, how do I apply? How do I get into EOP? Based on all the information that we've been already sharing. So the first question here is how to complete and turn in your EOP application. So as all of you will be applying through the CSULA apply application online. Joseph, you can drop that in the chat in case they need it, but I'm sure they already have it. So you would submit the EOP application electronically. As part of that, there will be a question on there. So the question will be, the EOP application is automatically part of the support information tile. So there are different tiles. I will show a picture of what the tile looks like at the end. There's a couple of tiles that you need to complete once you're doing the CSULA apply. And then make sure you select yes, because if you don't select yes, that will automatically assume that you're not interested in the EOP program. So the application, once you see interested in EOP or would you like to apply for EOP, you have to select yes. Once you don't select yes on there and you select no or it's left blank, then they're gonna assume that you're gonna move forward with your application. So it's important that you answer that question correctly.
Yeah, I just like to chime in a little bit on this. Many students usually put, I think the second option is yes, maybe later. And many students don't do it later, or they just forget about it, and then they don't end up doing it. And then when they call the admissions office, they tend to ask, "Oh, I never received anything from EOP." That is because their application wasn't complete, and then we'd have no application for them. So if you are interested in applying for EOP, I'd recommend you just do it as soon as possible. Because if you click no, it's going to direct you to a whole different part of the CSU application process. But if you click yes, then that's when it's going to ask you the biographical questions and then your family estimated income.
Yes, that is correct, Joseph. Thank you. So for the biographical questions, is telling you to briefly describe your family's economic background, include information about your financial challenges. So these are going to be questions part of the EOP application. And then why would you like to attend college? So here you would discuss your career and personal goals. And then any particular circumstances that you may help to highlight your application will be also helpful. What were your experiences? Did other people, influence you to come to college? What was your preparation or motivation to attend college? So these are very important that you don't answer in a yes or no answer. You want to be very descriptive. You want to use examples if you can, because this will help determine, part of the application process, whether you do get admitted into the program or not. So these are very important.
Yeah, and then I also like to mention that we do receive, I think last year it was 19,000 applications, and we only accepted roughly about 700. And then out of those students, those are the ones that kind of stood out, and we read through biographical questions and then what they said. Many students that we weren't able to accept is because they either put NA, meaning not applicable, on one question, or they just maybe wrote yes on one question and then that was it. They didn't write more in that question, and we couldn't really determine if the student was motivated, and then we didn't know more about the student. So just make sure you go into more details, and then like Veronica says, don't put yes or no.
So I have a question here. How many words are required to answer that? I don't know if there's a requirement on the form. I haven't seen, the actual form itself. But as long as you answer the questions, I think that you should be fine. If we will understand if you don't have that much information to share, that's okay, but just kind of wrap it up with that, like, I would like to experience more, that's why I'm applying. Or if you're someone who, just hasn't had enough experience, let us know that, because this will probably give you an opportunity for that. This will probably open up doors for you to experience that with our program. So as long as you wrap it up that way, then we will know that, they pretty much answer the questions to the best of their ability. Okay, no problem. So continuing with the biographical questions, briefly discuss your academic background. Did you use any additional support at your high school, such as tutoring? So tell us about, how that was for you. Did it work? Did it not work? Would you like more tutoring, moving ahead? Do your grades in high school or in college reflect your academic ability or potential? Is it something that you were very proud of, or is it something that you probably need more assistance with? Because we're also here for that. We're also here to assist students who, may have had challenges throughout that process. List any volunteer extracurricular activities. Some of you may not know, but sometimes we help our own family members. Sometimes we help our own parents, like if you were that kid that's helping your parents translate, do applications, apply for certain different programs. Those are all things that you want to talk about, because it's your experience that made you, who you are now. So those are very important for us to know. Hey, you know what? I was always busy helping my parents, or I had to work a day job helping my parents after school, things like that. And, sometimes we have to do these voluntarily, even though, we don't want to, or sometimes it doesn't give us enough time. It's very important because it tells us how you grew up, what kind of experiences you had at home, so those are very important as well. And also, what did you do in school? Was there anything that was highlighted there that you were able to participate in? So those are really good experiences that you can also include on there. Is there any additional information you would like EOP to consider in determining your admissions to the program? So again, something that you would like for us to know, maybe out of the norm, or maybe something exciting, or something that highlights something that you did for your community, something that you want us to just really pay attention to. You never know, that may be the breaking factor to choosing you over another student. Okay, because remember, it is a lot of students and we want to make the best choice. Okay, so here I'm gonna have you all, if you want to participate, unmute yourselves. I like to always give an opportunity for students to participate. So here's an opportunity for you to read these out loud. These are tips for biographical questions. So if any of you would like to participate, if you want to unmute and start just from the top, we can have someone read.
I'll go first. It's Jason, by the way.
Hi, Jason. Thank you.
So the first one is prepare your responses in advance and ask a teacher and/or counselor to help with proofreading.
Thank you.
All right.
Someone else?
Copy and paste questions onto a Microsoft Word document to save.
Thank you.
Completing responses in advance will save you time when completing EOPS application.
Thank you, Jesus. So you want to use I statements, brainstorm, outline a draft first, see yourself at the university. So talk about you, talk about the things that you have done, talk about what you envision in the future. So you want to always make sure that you're talking about you and you know what you want to, even if you have something to collaborate, like what can we learn from you? And then just to take it from the top, prepare your responses in advance. You know, sometimes counselors, well, not sometimes, all the time, counselors and teachers are pretty busy. So you want to make sure that you start asking them for this information in advance. So that way you have ample time to review and discuss, proofread that information. The reason we say copy and paste questions on the Microsoft Word, because we all know that it happens. We have all lost work, whether you save it or not. Sometimes you're like, this application, I don't know where it went. So you want to do that on a computer that you have, you know, all your documents saved. And then, yes, complete your responses in advance. It will save you time. It will give you opportunity to maybe visit your, you know, your program if they have a place where you can go and have them go over it, your tutoring sessions, if you want them to go over these are important. And so these will help us determine, you know, and help us your eligibility into the program. So respond as precisely and honestly as possible. So we have had some situations where students were not honest, and it doesn't happen a lot, but it has happened. And so, you know, those are sometimes highlighted, and we don't want that to be highlighted on anyone's application. So we want to make sure that it is you and that you are doing this for yourself, and that you do ask for help, but don't try to, you know, ask your buddy to kind of cut and paste their biographical information, because, you know, that we will know about that. Use complete sentences. This is where we say, do not just say yes or no, you know, use the complete sentences. You do have, like I said, space to answer the questions there. Expand on each answer. The more information you provide, the more we will know about who you are, what you want to do, and what you've done in the past. So this will get to, for us to know you better, and for us to do, like I said, an honest, and to have you, you know, just to make sure that we're working with the students from the beginning, and to have you selected honestly. Go ahead. So think about it. If EOP has one spot left, why should I choose you? So use information that would give us more ample information to do that. Describe your experiences, maturity, authenticity, motivation, your story. Like I say, you may have a story that's different than everyone else's. And in fact, everyone's story is different. And then elaborate, tell us about your background, your culture, your ethnicity group, all of those things, you know, we want to know from you.
And then right here, I can talk about the supplemental documents.
Okay.
The following documents are required to be considered for EOP admissions, which is basically 2 letters of recommendations, and it must be from a professor or a counselor or a supervisor. As long as you have one academic LOR, which is from a professor or a counselor, and the other recommendation letter from a mentor or a supervisor, then you're okay. But if it is from a friend or a family member, then we wouldn't be able to accept that letter of recommendation. We also have many students who the recommender puts other rather than kind of saying their family or friend. And then those who put other, we contact them because they leave a phone number. And then most of the time they usually say, oh, he's my friend, or oh, it's my family member. And that kind of diminishes the letter of recommendation because they're gonna automatically say nice things about you, and then they're your friends or family. But a mentor and a professor, they have seen you've grown as a academic student, so they'll have more to say about you rather than a friend or family member. I also recommend you to get in contact with a counselor or a professor before the deadlines. Maybe like a month or two, let them know that, hey, can you do a letter of recommendation for me? That way you give them more time to write the letter of recommendation, because I'm pretty sure more students, when it comes to close to the deadline, they're going to be asking their counselor or the professor if they can do a letter of recommendation. And at that time, they won't have enough time to write the letter of recommendation. So that way I recommend you talking to a professor or a counselor, let them know that you want a letter of recommendation. For me, since I can talk a little bit more about this, is I am an EOP student. So when I applied to EOP, I contacted my teacher at the time, since I was coming from high school. So I contacted my teacher and then my counselor, and I let them know beforehand if they could do a letter of recommendation. And then from there, that's how I was able to get them. And then maybe like close to the deadline, I remember people were asking them, "Oh, can you do my letter of recommendation?" And then the teacher would say, "Oh no, I already have so-and-so students already asking me to do a letter of recommendation." So that way, I just recommend you let them know beforehand if you want to do the letter of recommendation. And then we also have the FAFSA and California DREAM Act, which is due no later than March 2nd. However, I recommend you guys or you all to submit it as soon as possible. That way you get your financial aid quicker. I know sometimes campuses, they might ask you to submit transcripts of it. So just be on the lookout. And if you're ever having trouble with that, you can always contact the financial aid office. Or if anything, you can always contact your EOP counselor. If you do get admitted to the program, you can contact your EOP counselor and let them know how to complete your financial aid. But that's the gist of the supplemental documents. And then
I wanted to talk about the FAFSA. The FAFSA actually opens October 1st, so you might want to start, looking into gathering your documents now, so that way you're ready October 1st. It's like Joseph said, it is first come, first serve. So you want to get your money's worth for the next year. So do the application right when it opens. Start gathering your parents' information. That way you have it handy right when October 1st comes. And the next slide.
Well, a student asked a question in the chat. Beatrice Flores asked, I have a recommendation letter from my professor she gave me 3 years ago. Will that work, or do I need a new one?
you would need a new one, but
Yeah.
the professor, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say the professor could write you a letter of recommendation again, but he would have to do it again. So it would go through the CSU apply, and then so we can download it on our end.
So it's a process that there's a link to the application. There's a process where the professors can upload the letter. Usually when you want to ask for a letter recommendation, it's no more than 1 year, because we want any updated information to be included on there. So 3 years, I don't think will be suffice, that requirement. So if you do have a great relationship with a professor, I would say start asking now and just say, hey, 3 years ago, you gave me a letter. And so I'm going to be needing one for EOP at CSULA. Would you be available? And then when the application comes, you'll be ready to send it to them. And then that's another thing too. Let them know that you're doing this. Don't just catch them by surprise and just say, oh, I get an email, or I'm not expecting an email. And then I have to fill out like this form. It's like, okay, well, who's the student? Why are they sending me this? So, be courteous about it and send at least an email letting them know that, because some professors may decline, or some professors may not be longer in in your campus, or they're so busy that they just can't do the letter. So don't rely on just forwarding them any information, and so, yes, Luz, also remember that the letter that they wrote, also remember that how you stood out. So that's really good to note as well. So yeah, so it's just highly recommended that at least you give them a heads up that, something's coming their way. And it's just, like I said, it's courteous notification.
Yeah, what I did, I emailed them. I emailed my teacher, well, one of my teachers, the other one I told in person. But I emailed one of them, and then they were able to do it. But I didn't. I did a proper email, not just saying, "Oh, can you do me a letter of recommendation for so and so?" because that way, I think I don't remember what exactly I said, but I remember it was proper, and then I just didn't throw it at them right away. But I just recommend you just kind of do a proper email if you can. If not, even better, you could probably do it face to face. But if you can, just do a proper email. I'm pretty sure you all know how to do email etiquettes. But if you don't, just ask someone for help to see if this is okay. But just give them a heads up in advance, like Veronica said. And then, like Veronica mentioned, I think before, this is how it's going to look on your CSU apply whenever you're applying to the EOP program. It's going to give you their personal information, supporting information. And so I think when all of them are green, if I'm not mistaken, that's when it's completed. I know when your professors or your counselor or your supervisor submits a letter of recommendation, I know you should get a confirmation email letting you know that they completed that letter of recommendation. So I always just recommend students to keep that email just in case, for whatever reason on our end or system failure, we're not able to see it. I always just recommend students to have that confirmation email. Have the confirmation email, and I think it also gives you the date too. So just have that as well as proof that they submitted it already by the deadline or by whatever deadline the campus is. That way you won't get accused of not doing it or anything. So just make sure to always have that confirmation email.
So the supporting information tile will give you the opportunity to fill in the EOP recommendations. So that's where you should be able to see what Joseph was referring to make sure that they were filled out and complete under.
And then, well, we're gonna finish off by telling you guys about the EOP deadlines. So this is for ours, which is CSULA. EOP application priority deadline is November 30th. The EOP application is due January 15th. And then the EOP letters of recommendation is due January 31st. For the EOP application priority deadline, November 30th, that would be the university deadline also. And then for CSULA, it's each campus, like I mentioned before, has their different deadlines. And then for the EOP application deadline, so to do the biographical questions and everything, the deadline would be January 15th. And then the EOP letters of recommendations, your professor or whoever you got to recommend you, they have until January 31st to submit the letter of recommendation. And I think once you give them, when you recommend them, like when you put your professor's email, they'll get a confirmation email, and then they would also let them know the deadlines that they have to complete the letter of recommendation.
So the difference between the first two deadlines here, we have a question from Alexander, thank you. So basically, if you're in the priority deadline by November 30th, that means that your application will be seen first. So we will have access to start looking at those applications. So as you can see, if a lot of students don't apply by November 30th, then we might have more time, more information, and probably less applications to look at. So we may pay even more attention to the number of applications that come before November 30th. So that probably is a win-win for you as a student. I would say give yourself November 30th, whether you're going to CSULA or another campus, because this will at least give you, some time for you to make sure you are applying, and not missing any of the deadlines. So if I were you, I will put that date on my calendar. And so yes, the priority deadline, like it states right there, is priority. The EOP application deadline, also give yourself at least 10 or 15 days in advance. Give yourself to the end of December and say, I have to have all this in by December 31st. You don't have to worry about it. Relax during winter, and then don't worry about the application deadline. The same thing with your letters of recommendation. Give yourself ample time. Don't tell your professor, oh, it's due out. I would say, can you give it to me by January 15 or before? Because this way you yourself are giving yourself, anything can go wrong. You just never know. What if you don't have access to a computer? What if, there's other things you have to take care of? So always, give yourself ample time to be able to fulfill those deadlines, and don't do it at the last minute, because we all know what can happen when we do things at the last minute sometimes. So it's just a little word of advice from me to you. And then we have Lucia, who has a question. Go ahead, Lucia.
Wait, sorry to interrupt. Before we go, I'm sorry to interrupt, but for the UP application priority deadline, the November 30th is for the university deadline. So for CSULA, the deadline to submit your CSU application would be November 30th. And then that January 15th deadline would be the EOP application deadline, which is ours. So if you need to make changes, if we contact you to make changes for your EOP application, which is probably going to be your biographical questions or something around that, that would be your EOP application deadline. And then your EOP, I think we messed up by putting EOP application, but the application priority deadline would be November 30th for CSULA. And then the EOP application would just be for the biographical questions or for anything solely related to the EOP. And then, like I mentioned before, the EOP Letters of Recommendation would be the professors. Sorry to interrupt your question.
No, it's okay. So then we need to change that deadline then, that part. But I would just say have it ready by November 30th. You will save yourself a lot of time. Yeah. Let's see. Go ahead with your question. Sorry.
Yes, I just wanted to make sure. So for the EOPS, this is just to go ahead and if we're already, let's just say I'm on it already, do I have to, that means that I have to reapply for this again?
Yes, because EOPNS is for community college. They service, EOPNS. And then for Cal State LA or any CSU, it's just known as EOP. So yes, you'd have to do a whole new application since you are now going into a university level.
Okay, and this is by November 30th, right? Before November 30th.
November 30th is the deadline for the CSULA or CSU Apply, which is the EOP application is also included on there.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Good question. Anyone else have another question? I believe I think Joseph, we're on the section for questions.
Yeah. So if you have any questions, you can say it. I like to also point out, I think someone said in the chat.
Oh yeah, Alexander, sure. We can go over the benefits again. Let's see. Can you go to I think you passed. Yeah. So here are some of the benefits and resources if you get accepted to our EOP at Cal State LA. We do offer academic and career counseling. That's something that I do myself when I meet with our students. This year, we're requiring only for transfer students to meet with me once per semester and also attend one workshop. So we're not asking much of you. We understand that you are a transfer student. You have a lot of responsibility, sometimes with parents, children, you taking a full load. So we understand how that transition looks. So I kind of said, okay, you know what, this year we're gonna make it to where we're only asking, the minimal of you. Tutoring, you do have tutoring, like I said, through the CAS, the Center for Academic Success. They offer tutoring. They also have a writing center. You do get priority, meaning that they can extend your time. Sometimes it's only 30 minutes, but you get extensions for up to an hour. If you let them know that you are an EOP student. The EOP grant, again, that's all determined by your financial need and your financial background. Priority registration for the first year. Again, for example, students are registering for spring already. They're gonna register October 25th, which is a couple of days or even a week before everyone else on the campus. You do get free printing. Printing is not free on campus, so there is a cost for it. But here at EOP, we do have free printing, Scantrons, Blue Books, laptop computer loan program. That's through the Dean of Students. There's also a laptop and that you can borrow for the rest of your stay here at Cal State LA this summer. I know there was a special program that loaned pretty much Apple computers and other devices. Enrichment workshops. So you're able to come to one or more. You don't have to limit yourself to one, but we do have myself and other counselors who are presenting on those workshops. And then the learning communities. So let me go over more details about the learning communities. So EOP has been able to pay for students tuition for 1 3-unit course. It happened last winter and it happened this summer. So we've been able to, let's say you're getting ready to graduate and you say, hey, Veronica, you know what? I really want to take advantage. I don't have any more funds. I need one more course to graduate. Would you be able to advocate for me? I'm one for advocating for students. So I will definitely get you connected with our director and we will pay for that course. You know, it's a random selection. We do about 100 students per summer and winter, and those students were able to attend courses towards their towards their program and get paid for those. So not get paid for, but paid for the class. So that means that $960 you don't have to worry out of your pocket. So those are some of the perks that you see here that we offer through EOP. Did that answer your question?
Wait, I'm so sorry. I'm a little confused. So were you just saying that if for short term like semesters like winter, EOP helps pay for those?
Potentially. So EOP does opens up an application like closer to the winter. Students apply, 100 students get randomly selected. If you get randomly selected, then you get paid for one of the courses. It is a 3-week course in the winter. So if you're willing to take, your first half of the year or the half of the first month of the year, 3 weeks doing a course and it's available. And it's pretty much short courses. There's not a lot of availability, but yes, EOP will pay for that course. You don't have to pay, do anything other than just worry about passing and getting a good grade.
Okay, great.
And we
Thank
do the
you.
same thing. We do the same thing for summer.
Right.
We wish we can do it for every single student, but we do it for about to 100, 120 students sometimes. Let's see. Can we get a copy of this? So I know that the presentation is being recorded. So yes, you may be able to get a copy, right, Jesus? Jesus will have a copy of that
So
for
what we're
later.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Veronica.
Go ahead.
So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna post a recording on our website. So we're gonna have a site on our website for recordings for workshops, and you should be able to find this. We'll send it out today to IT, so hopefully IT is able to put it up today. I know IT sometimes could take a few days, but right now it depends on if they're able to put it up today, and we'll send you guys an email once it's posted. But definitely, we'll have this available for you guys on our website.
Yeah, and then it's asking if they can get a copy of the slideshow. I would have to check with our admissions team because they originally are the ones that would do this presentation, and I can check with them. I don't think there's a problem, but I will let them know, and I will send it to you, Jesus, if that's okay.
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, and then of course, Alexander, you can meet more than one time. There's students that come and visit me, or students that come and just want to check in with the Zoom. That's okay. I'm a very welcoming and nice person. So yes, you can meet more than once with me. And sometimes it's students want to meet at the beginning and then when they're getting ready to register for the classes. So yeah, definitely, it's just one time required for programming. To qualify, do we need to meet all the criteria? Yes, to qualify for EOP, you must meet all the requirements. So it is part of the required process. And so yes, Jennifer, we would like to see everything on there on the application. And then, let's see, can I please? I am gonna write down my email here in case that anyone else has any other questions, but typically, you would go through an orientation when you apply to Cal State LA. Once the orientation is done, you would meet with an academic advisor to kind of go over your first semester's classes. courses. And then once that happens, then you would meet with me. But definitely take advantage of the transfer bridge opportunity that's going to come up again next year. So once you get accepted to EOP, you will then get contacted to see if you want to participate in our transfer bridge. Remember, transfer bridge is a seminar and then one paid course towards your upper division requirements. So definitely you can contact me if you have any other questions. I'll drop my email here in the chat.
We do
And then-
have Nigani.
Go ahead.
Nagina, sorry. Did have her
Yes,
hand
we
raised.
have another question. Go ahead. Go ahead, Regina.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I have a question about the recommendation letters. I already asked one of my professors to write me a letter, and she asked me a couple of questions regarding this part, and she said that I'm gonna read her questions. She said that the recommendation letter should be electronic or hard copy, and also she asked me what is the website or physical address that I would send the letter if the school is going to send me a link. State that and approximately when I should expect it in my email.
Okay, so as you can see for right now, I do not know. Last I checked, the applications were not open yet, unless I'm mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
But you were able to go onto the CalSTRLA apply and do the application already?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, that's the reason why there's no link and there's nothing to fall back on. So you'd have to wait until the application opens up, and then there should be a link that's sent to them because you're gonna put in their information, their email and their name. And then there should be a link that they just pop up, and then they should be able to either paste the document on there or send it in. But usually you would have to upload it as a attachment.
Oh,
Yeah, it is through CSU Apply. So when you're applying to CalSTRLA or any other CSU, that's where you would apply, and then it will ask you for your professor or your recommender's email. It's automatic. As soon as you put your email and submit your application, they will receive a letter of recommendation link to answer questions about you. So that opens up October 1st.
Yes. Thank you, Stephanie.
Of course.
okay, I got it. Thank you so much.
And so I do want to say that for any questions regarding admissions, EOP application, please do not send those to me because I am not the admissions director or coordinator. I am the counselor. Once you're all taken care of and gather that information, then you're gonna come to me. Once you've applied, you got accepted, then you're gonna come to me. Unfortunately, I won't be able to assist really anything specific questions and things like that until you have been given that information from our director and our admissions program. But if you have any general questions, then obviously I'm more than happy to help you. But I did write down both my email here. Is vcareer3@calstrla.edu for any references as far as this presentation. And then I also wrote in eop@miss@calstrla.edu. They will be the people, if you have any questions regarding any attachments, anything that has to do with the application process or anything like that, then you would ask them. That is, we have Guadalupe Cruz, who was the admissions director. And then we also have another director, Marta, who is also assisting Guadalupe, or they work hand in hand. So let me write down Guadalupe Cruz. So she's the admissions director. Okay. But definitely, if you have any questions regarding today or anything else that comes up, I'll be more than happy to help. Anyone else have any other questions?
I'm
I
sorry,
think, good.
Oh no, I'm done. My questions are answered. Thank you.
Okay. I was gonna say someone Alexander, I believe he said he wanted to go back to the housing assistant one. This is just for for Guardian Scholar students. So if you're Guardian Scholars or the court, these are the services they provide for them.
Okay, so it's not the same thing as EOP.
No, this is would be a different program.
Okay.
So Guardian Scholars is run by EOP, so it is a supplemental program that we offer for a separate criteria of students. So definitely they will benefit from the program, but there's also another criteria that they would have to follow. And what I'm doing right now is I'm adding our EOP link here so that if you want to check out our page or find us online, you can do so on there. And then that way you get to meet more of the staff, who we are, what we do, where we're located. And just one more thing I want to add, I know it's 1:05 already, but this month is really important. I want to say that we are celebrating EOP History Month. So we will be having a lot of events happening the last week of this month. And then Joseph and I are putting together, along with other members of our program here, we're putting together a lot of fun things to do on campus and online. So I hope to share that with Jesus and Stephanie. If you can just share your emails with me, and that way, if any student is interested, just come and check us out. You know, it's important that you know why EOP exists, why we're here, you know, what our mission is. And so I like to invite all of you to be part of that. And we have a lot of giveaways, so it'll be fun to have you all here. So you're welcome. And we're in a brand new building, so I'm very excited about I'm very excited at Cal State LA. As you can see, I came and I never left, but I'm very excited of our new building. And so anyone is welcome to come and check us out. We are in the 4th floor of the new Student Services building. Okay. Thank you all, and thank you for being here, and thank you for great questions and participating. And like we said, we're all a family, and we want you to see you succeed.
No, thank you. Thank you, Veronica, and thank you, Joseph, for everything. Hopefully for everybody else I was able to attend, thank you guys again for coming out and being a great audience. And
Yeah.
feel free to send myself and Stephanie and Luz any questions about EOPS here at East Los Angeles College. And for the Cal State application, right, definitely do send it out. If you have any questions, do send it out to the proper individuals. Guadalupe Cruz definitely is going to be a person of interest that you guys want to write down and have any questions. And then also, right now is a good time to actually start asking your professors and your counselors for that letter of recommendation. So right now would be the best time to start going to office hours, schedule an appointment, right? Sometimes emails do get lost in clutter sometimes. So even though you email your professor, keep in mind your professor probably has 200 students that they're receiving emails from on a daily basis. So it might take a couple of weeks before they get back to your email. So if you have a chance to speak to them, even if you're on Zoom, just to send them a private message on the chat, just to say, hey, if you have time to stay after class on Zoom, just to like to talk about a letter recommendation possibility. So they're aware of the situations, just to make it easier for you and for the student and for your faculty and for your counselor as well. But definitely thank you guys again for everything. This was very, very helpful, and we'll have this posted on our website and send it out today for IT. If you guys, thank you again. I know it's kind of 1:07 already, and you guys have other duties and responsibilities. So Stephanie and I will stay here, but Joseph and Veronica, thank you very much. Appreciate it once again. And hopefully we're able to communicate later on, and hopefully we're able to do something, you know, later on. And then keep in mind, next month is Dia de los Muertos. So Veronica, I love your background once again. Appreciate it.
Yes, we're celebrating a lot of things this September, you know, our Heritage Month, EOP, El Día de los Muertos. So, you know, it's a big, happy family and a great celebration. So I hope to see you all, and don't be shy. I'm very welcoming. I'm here for you all. And, you know, I was once in your shoes, an EOP alumni. And so I understand sometimes it's nerve-wracking, but you can't be shy. You got to get to know me, because I'm the only EOP transfer counselor. You have no one else to go to, you know. Obviously, we have other people that can help, but you got to get to know me. So you're good with me. All right. Thank you, Joseph. And I know I have Joseph just right around here, but thank you, Joseph. And thank you, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you. Bye. Bye,
Thank you,
Stephanie.
Veronica.
Bye,
Appreciate it.
Luz. Bye, Jesus.
Bye,
Bye.
Joseph. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Alexander. Thank you for showing up. Appreciate it.
Yeah, have a nice day.
Thank you, likewise. Hey, Luz. How are you doing?
Hi, good and
Happy
you?
Monday. Thank you again so much for setting this up. I think it was very, very great for our students. So